this is a play about a character, Sheridan Whiteside, who is a writer, theater critic, radio show celebrity. He visits the Stanley family for dinner. He injures his hip slipping on the front porch as he's leaving dinner, and the family has to put up with his condescension and generally obnoxious presence for 6 weeks. Put up with him and his menagerie. I'll explain that in just a minute. And perhaps the line in the play that best captures his persona in the play, and of course Wolcott's persona, is when Sheridan Whiteside says, "Is there any man in the world who suffers as much as I do from the gross inadequacies of the human race?" Okay. Now, Wolcott had asked Hoffman and Bossart to write a character as different from me as possible, but they knew Wolcott could only play himself. They knew he could memorize lines. They also knew he couldn't act. And so, in the words of Stephen Bach, who was a biographer of Bossart, they wrote, "Not entirely free of malice," and gave us Wolcott with warts, wattles, and wicked one-liners. Okay? Sheridan Whiteside's first line in the play is, "I may vomit." Okay. He tells his nurse Preen, "You have the touch of a sex-starved cobra." And he says that his doctor is the greatest living argument for mercy killing. Now, ironically, Wolcott declined the role. Once the play was written, Wolcott said, "I'm not going to do that." And he said, "For me to appear as myself would be alienating and even offensive." Now, he did act the part when the show went on the road. And by the way, it lasted on Broadway for over 700 performances. That's how good the play was and is. So 700 performances later, he went on the road, and Wolcott played the part. And Bach tells a great story that when he performed in Washington, D.C., Eleanor Roosevelt was in the audience, and she invited him to stay in the Lincoln bedroom at the White House. He used White House stationery to write to friends to complain about the lodging. That was Wolcott, yeah. Now, warts notwithstanding, it's not surprised that Wolcott would eventually agree to do the part. You know, we have to, after all, we have to sort of care about the main character in a play, don't we? Don't we even have to sort of like him? And you're going to find things to like about Wolcott beneath, well, I mean, maybe not in spite of, maybe we do enjoy the wit and the kind of the acid kind of look at things. But also, there's a heart beneath all of this. We'll see, for example, that he's very paternalistic with the 2 Stanley children. Father is a kind of a stick in the mud, uptight, as we'll see the father in the family, the Stanley family. And the 2 young children, they want to do things, be their own people, and he encourages them, abets them in trying to escape from that. And then, do enjoy, he gets it as good as he gets it in a couple of places. 2 of the best speeches in the play are when the 2 women who take the most verbal abuse from him during the whole course of the play, Maggie, his girl Friday, she finally has enough and really tells him off. And then Miss Preen has a great speech where she does the same. Among other things, she tells him, "Because of you, I don't want to be a nurse any longer. I'm going to go work in a munitions factory." Now, the other thing you should know is that Wolcott's not the only contemporary of Hart and Kaufman that are in the play. The flamboyant British actor and playwright Noel Coward is in the play in the character of Beverly Carleton, and he'll sing a song that was written by Cole Porter for this play, and so we're getting a special. So Noel Coward's in it. Lorraine Sheldon, sleeping her way into roles on stage, is a caricature of Gertrude Lawrence, who was a British actress and a friend of Noel Coward's, who acted in a lot of his plays. So again, we get some real-life people in the play, kind of thinly disguised. And one of the really zany characters in the play, a character named Banjo, is based on another member of the Algonquin Round Table who was zany in real life, and that's Harpo Marx. And so Harpo was just nuts. So one great story. Kaufman had a thing about any time he took a taxi cab ride, he insisted on paying. He was just obsessive about this. And of course, his friends, Harpo, they all knew that. Harpo and Kaufman were taking a taxi ride, and as the taxi pulled up to the curb, Kaufman was dutifully reaching in to get his wallet and money out. Harpo swung the door open, jumped out, unzipped his fly, pulled out a $20 bill, and gave it to the taxi driver. I hope he had prepared the stunt in advance. But that's the Harpo's kind of thing. Now, Jim's going to do something, and the cast is going to do something interesting tonight. Those people who might have recognized Harpo maybe wouldn't, because, of course, on the stage and in the screen, Harpo doesn't talk. He's always chasing women, and Banjo will be chasing poor Nurse Preen all around the stage, as we'll see tonight. But he didn't talk. He honked his little horn. So Jim thought they maybe needed to blend a little of Groucho into the character as well. So we're going to get some Groucho in Harpo. I don't know what. I mean, what are some good Groucho lines? I never forget a face, but in your case, I'll make an exception. Margaret Dumont, his foil, that stuffy woman, said, "I didn't come here to be insulted." Groucho said, "Where do you usually go?" The most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, and so on and so forth. And listen to, for other real contemporaries mentioned in the play, Kaufman and Hart needed to establish the celebrity of Sheridan Whiteside, so you'll get all kinds of famous names dropped. The Emperor Haile Selassie is going to contribute to his radio show, his Christmas radio show on shortwave radio. At one point, Whiteside directs Maggie. He says, "Send a cable to Mahatma Gandhi," he says. "Dear Boo Boo." So they're on more than first name basis. So to wrap up, I don't want to give any surprises away, but do be prepared for some just wonderfully wacky comic chaos that only Kaufman and Hart just can do in their wild way. And so think, I don't know, a cockroach colony, an octopus in the basement, penguins in the library, and so on, and so on. There is time for a little leisurely to continue to have a nibble or two and a little bit more to sip. And I think I'm really looking forward to the next couple of hours, where we are not only going to, I think, enjoy and see some great theater, but we're going to be a whole lot of theater.